So, nice day today. Looks like the weather has finally turned from being super wet and cool to being a bit more spring-like, maybe even summer-like. Feels quite warm in the sun today. So I try to take in a walk, maybe at the top end of Ludshott, a north end, because with it being much sandier up that way, it should be a little bit drier, less muddy. We'll see when we get there. It's quite noisy out here today, it's bin day. So I just walked past the bin then, see what we get today. Brought the Fuji kit and also the squeaky camera bag strap. Brought the Olympus E-PL2, which is converted for full spectrum infrared. So it being the kind of day when you've got mixed cloud and blue sky like this, it can be quite good. But we'll see. I've been a bit kind of jaded about the infrared stuff lately, but it might be okay. Beautiful flowers along here. Really pretty. On the top track at Ludshott now, and you can probably see just how sandy it is, and I think I've kind of commented on this previously when I've walked along here, particularly when it's been wet. You can also see the drama in the sky here. Hoping we'll get some good images. So the infrared stuff, I only, just to clarify, I only use infrared black and white. So I just use I think it's a 720 nanometer filter I've got on the front of the lens on the Olympus E-PL2. And the lens I use almost all the time on that camera is the 9-18 millimeter Olympus lens, and that one seems to have none of the strange artifacts you sometimes get with infrared. I've tried some other lenses, 14 to 45 Lumix lens, get some strange banding effects with that one. Another lens that I use, which is good for the infrared, is the Panasonic Leica 15mm lens. That one seems good. One of the reasons I sold the Lumix 14mm lens, although I loved the size of it, it was tiny and super light, but didn't seem to work quite so well with the infrared. I couldn't get the degree of sharpness that I was looking for, so I sold that and actually used the I replaced it with the Panasonic Leica 15mm. It's a gorgeous day out here today, to be honest. It's not too hot, it's not too cool. Some really pretty clouds, very pretty. So I'm hoping that we're going to get some reasonable infrared pictures. I'm just waving the camera about there. I'm going to try to do a one-handed shot with the Olympus. So you can probably see that. We'll see what that's like. Maybe a bit more path and foliage on this side. Got a nice leading line from that sandy path. Good clouds. That looks like it may be okay. We'll see what those are like later. I think the thing about the infrared is that it's one of those looks that, dust on the filter, one of those looks that can be overdone. So if you're using it kind of just too much, then it is just that, too much. Really annoying thing about this lens is that you can't open it and close it properly without pressing the lock feature on the side, which kind of drives me slightly mad. It makes it really difficult to use it for it's not really a one-handed use lens. Well, that little camera, that little converted Olympus, has a really nice feel to it. It's quite a sturdy little camera body. I do like it. I'm pleased with it and all that sort of stuff. But you've just got to be careful not to overdo it, I think, and not be using it all the time. But I think it can be very effective. And that lens is, as I said, that lens is good and gives a good focal range. So we'll see what they come out like. I'm going to try to take a path now that will potentially be used for cycling. So it'll be the route I used to take years ago around here. See how we get on with that. Quite a long route actually. Well, so. See how we get on. This is definitely the route that I used to cycle. I would sometimes stop for, having got this far, sometimes stop for a breather at this seat and just take in the view for a minute or two. It's actually pretty overgrown over here now. It's grown up quite a lot already. It looks like we've got a whole series of birch trees there that are coming up. So this would be the route that I would cycle, and planning to do this again shortly or soon. And one of the main reasons for that is that, as you can see, it is not too muddy. It's not too horrendous in terms of mud. A couple of things that wanted to also check out today. For some reason, when I come out with the Fuji kit, I always feel as I'm missing out on close focusing. I think it's because on the Olympus stuff I've got a macro lens and also got a macro attachment for one of the zoom lenses. And while they're not, the macro attachment things, supplementary lens, whatever you like to call it, something that just fits on the front, no, not perfect, they're also not at all bad, I think. Pretty good. And the macro lens, whilst that's extra stuff to carry, it's not very big, being like 4/3, so it is always a possibility to take that along. Now with the Fuji, the only macro capability I've got is a legacy Tamron SP90, and I think that's a great lens. I'm really pleased I bought it. It's quite heavy, so unless you really think you're going to use it, you don't want to be taking it along. It's just another, telephoto that weighs. So I want to check I want to check the close focusing on the lenses that I have brought, which are the kit 15-45 and the 18 f2. I've also got the longer zoom, the 50-230, but I won't be checking the close focusing on that probably. The reason I brought that is because you never know, there could be some wildlife photography over here that's worth stopping for. There are some unusual-ish birds that frequent Ludshott Common. There's the Dartford warbler, stone chats. Unlikely to see a nightjar, but they are here apparently. So yeah, could always be some wildlife stuff over here. This is another rather nice area that must have been cleared in the not too distant past, but it's growing back quite nicely now. Yeah, it looks good. Everywhere looks good on such a fine day, I have to say. I'm really pleased I came out for a short walk, short-ish walk. Yeah, just nice to get outside, enjoy nature, see these beautiful green colours at this time of the year. This springtime colour, very vibrant, really nice. Wonder how stable I can actually hold this little action cam whilst I'm walking. I had thought about upping my game on the vloggy bit and doing something with what I would call a proper camera for vlogging rather than an action cam, but these things are so versatile, so useful, so easy to carry, waterproof cases, they're really small, you can just chuck it into your pocket between clips, so they are pretty darn useful for vlogging. Okay, this looks interesting. Which way do I go up here? Super serious now. I've even put a strap on the X-T20 with the longer zoom lens on it. And I've put the Samyang 12mm on the X-Pro1, which was on the X-T20 for a while there, because got some bird song. There was some bird song here I didn't recognise. There's still some bird song. I don't think that's a stone chat, but whatever it is, I've decided to proceed very quietly through the woods here and just see if we can spot some bird life. So I'm going to move fairly quietly through here and see if I can spot anything. So I have ended up testing the close focusing distance on the 50 to 230. I found a tiny beetle, about as big as a ladybird I suppose, sitting right on the top of a piece of a pine tree flower thing. And I think the closest I could get to him with the zoom fully extended to 230 was about 3 feet. So we'll see how that comes out. Also spotted some deer, managed to take 1 or 2 pictures. Continuing to follow the path back now, and we're at the cleared area. Good sky. There is the possibility that I'm going to get a soaking here, but see if I can get back before that actually happens, and get some photos sorted out, processed and the like, and get this show on the road. There is some really nice cloud about, I have to say. I'm going to linger a little while and make the most of this, because it does, yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. Very cool looking cloud, and hopefully may remain dry, we'll see.